So I'm Zoe, married to Stephen. We've got 2 children, 2 girls and 2 stepdaughters, and I am a student midwife.
I'm Stephen Shears. I'm married to Zoe, and I currently work in a residential care home for teenagers with disabilities. I think we've been living on faith for the last 4 years.
Yeah. Whilst training to be a midwife, I've obviously had to be out of work for 4 years. I've trained for. So throughout those 4 years, people have been extremely generous. So somebody came up to us at church and
In September.
said that they felt God was saying that they needed to help us out, basically. And I just burst into tears.
And so did I.
But it's got us through. I don't like saying it, but they have basically paid our rent for several months. So that has just been amazing, and we couldn't have got through the last few months without that.
God's work doesn't ever seem to be done, so the generosity of others and the blessing that it puts upon us and what we are able to give to others as well is a massive blessing.
I think just when you feel like something's gone wrong with the car or something's gone wrong with the house, and you think, how are we going to get through this month? And then something comes up.
Yeah, every time.
Before I started training, and Stephen had like a full-time job and we were well off, we were able to be generous to others at that time. And I feel like that's kind of come around. Like, we were faithful at that time, therefore God's not forgotten us. You look back and you think how good God has been to us.
Yeah, and during the last 4 years, we've also given in our time and been quite generous with certain things.
Yeah, you don't always have to be generous with money.
No.
It's it's just looking out for people.
And being able to give what we have as well.
Yeah.
I've been giving meat hampers to people that are less fortunate and not able to, perhaps feed themselves, and just makes life a little bit easier for them.
Yeah, or having people over for meals.
Yeah, I think it's just living on faith and having the faith that it will happen somehow.
I think, like we said, generosity doesn't always have to come in the form of money. It can come in the form of just popping round for a cup of tea when someone's in need, or just listening to somebody, or remembering someone's birthday, or...
It's just finding the time for other people, isn't it, sometimes?
Yeah. I think it's like the whole tithing thing as well, isn't it? When you give, you get back.
Yeah.
And we've always found that where we've been generous, it's always come back, and God's been generous to us in different ways.
More ways than one, hasn't he?